Your wife's been sleeping with me for 6 months, dude. Sean's words hit Lex like a punch as he stood frozen in his own bedroom doorway. Sean, his best friend since college, his business partner, his co-founder. Mary was still tangled in the silk sheets with Sean. 6 months? Lex's voice cracked. Mary, tell me he's lying. She laughed. Come on, Lex. You're never home anyway. Always chasing your next big deal, your next magazine cover. Sean actually sees me. I worked my ass off for us. For our future, Lex exploded. A girl can't live on money alone, Lex. I wanted you, but instead I got the pixel prince surrounded by fangirls. Sean told me everything. Her voice dripped venom. Lex's spine turned to ice. I never had affairs. Can't you see? Those were lies to destroy me. I only ever wanted you. Mary's resolve flickered. Doubt crossed her face. But Sean interrupted. Think Mary will believe your lies now? A best friend knows all the skeletons in the closet. I just showed Mary where to find them. Evil grin. Mocking tone. The ground shifted beneath Lex's feet. How long had Sean been plotting? All those international tours, all those conferences. Sean pushing him away while he moved in. Blind. He'd been completely blind. This can't be real. This has to be a nightmare. Lex fell to his knees. Nightmare's just starting, friend. Sean pulled on his jacket, grinning wickedly. Tomorrow, I finish what I started. Brace yourself for the closing act. The next morning, Lex sat in the boardroom staring at legal documents he didn't understand. His head pounded from the bourbon he'd demolished after finding Mary and Sean together. Sean walked in looking fresh as a daisy, wearing a $1,000 suit. Morning, partner, Sean said, taking his seat at the head of the table. Don't call me that, Lex muttered. Fair enough. Sean slid a stack of papers across the table. But we still have business to discuss. Lex squinted at the documents. Board resolutions, voting records, financial statements. What is this crap? He growled. Your resignation letter, Sean said smugly. The words didn't compute. Lex looked up, confused. My what? The boardroom door opened and 12 suits filed in. The entire board of directors. Lex's stomach dropped. Gentlemen, Sean stood up, suddenly all business. Thank you for coming on such short notice. Wait a minute, Lex shot to his feet. What the hell is going on here? Board Chairman Richards cleared his throat. Lex, we've called an emergency meeting to discuss some irregularities in company finances. What irregularities? Lex demanded. Sean pulled out a tablet and slid it over. 20 million in unauthorized payments, Sean said. All traced back to your personal accounts. That's impossible. I never... You gave me full financial authorization 6 months ago, remember? Sean cut him off. When you said you wanted to focus on the creative side, the memory hit him like a slap. He had said that. He'd trusted Sean completely. You set me up, Lex snarled. I protected this company from your reckless spending, Sean replied smoothly. Unfortunately, the board has lost confidence in your leadership. Richard stood up. By unanimous vote, we're removing you as CEO, effective immediately. You can't do this, Lex exploded. I built this company from nothing. Actually, Sean grinned wickedly. I can, and I just did. Lex sat across from bank manager Peterson, sweating through his wrinkled shirt. He hadn't slept in 3 days. I need a loan, Lex said, his voice hoarse. 20 million. Peterson looked at him like he'd grown a second head. Mr. Reynolds, your credit score has dropped 400 points in the last month. Your assets have been frozen pending litigation. What litigation? Peterson slid a thick folder across the desk. Legal documents, fraud allegations, embezzlement charges. Your former business partner filed a civil suit claiming you stole company funds. Lex's hands shook as he flipped through the papers. Sean's signature was on every page. This is garbage. He's the one who stole everything. That's not what these bank records show. I don't understand how... Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Security will escort you out. 2 guards appeared at the door. Lex stood up, defeated. Wait, please. I just need something. Anything. Peterson's expression softened slightly. Mr. Reynolds, you owe 17 different creditors. Your house is in foreclosure. Your cars have been repossessed. Even if I wanted to help you, there's nothing left to secure a loan against. The words hit him like punches. What about my personal accounts? Frozen. All of them, until the investigation concludes. Lex walked out of the bank in a daze. His phone buzzed with another text from his lawyer. The retainer had bounced. He was officially without legal representation. Lex fumbled with his room key. He'd spent 18 hours calling every contact in his phone. Nobody wanted to talk to him. A hand grabbed his shoulder and spun him around. "Where's our money, punk?" Two guys in hoodies, big, professional, the kind of guys who broke kneecaps for a living. "Wait, I still have time." The first enforcer's fist slammed into Lex's stomach before he could finish the sentence. He doubled over, gasping. "Boss said you had until tomorrow," the second guy said, grabbing Lex by the hair. "This is just a friendly reminder." They didn't talk much after that. Just efficient violence. One held him against the brick wall while the other worked on his ribs. "Please," Lex wheezed, tasting blood. "I just need more time." A knee drove into his stomach, cutting him off. "You've got until tomorrow night," the first enforcer said, breathing hard. "Pay up or we come back to finish the job." They walked away like nothing had happened. Lex lay in the parking lot, watching their taillights disappear into the night. He waited for someone to help. A neighbor. A passerby. Anyone. Nobody came. He crawled to his motel room door, leaving a trail of blood on the concrete. His ribs screamed with every breath. His left eye was already swelling shut. Inside, he collapsed on the ratty couch and stared at the water-stained ceiling. The beating had broken something inside him, not just physically, but something deeper. 20 million in a day, he whispered to the empty room. "I couldn't scrape up that much if I won the lottery 100 times over." Lex limped into Tony's pawn and gold, his face still purple from the beating. Behind the counter sat a heavy-set man with suspicious eyes. "What can I do for you?" Tony asked, not looking up from his newspaper. Lex slid his Rolex across the counter, the same watch Mary had given him for their anniversary. "How much?" Tony picked it up, examined it through a jeweler's loupe. 15 grand. Take it or leave it." 15? That watch cost 60,000. Yeah, when it was new. This is a pawn shop, not Tiffany's. Lex's shoulders sagged. 15 grand wouldn't even cover the interest on what he owed. Fine. Tony counted out the cash. Lex stuffed it in his pocket and left. The cycle continued over the next few days. His few remaining personal possessions, items the court hadn't flagged as business assets, trickled away for pathetic sums. His guitar from college, $200. His leather jacket, $75. Even his gaming console, the last connection to his old life, got pawned for $200. By the end, he had scraped together $3, $700. Against a $20 million debt, it was less than meaningless. Lex couldn't take it anymore. When Danny, the kid who worked at the gas station, introduced him to little baggies of white powder, Lex told himself it was just temporary. Just until he figured something out. The heroin was $50 a bag. The relief was instant, but even the drugs couldn't numb the fact that he'd burned every bridge except one. Lex dialed his brother's number with shaking fingers. The ones that weren't broken. They hadn't talked since the scandal broke, but family was family, right? "Hello? Mike, it's Lex." His voice was slurred, barely recognizable. Silence. Then a heavy sigh. "Jesus, Lex. You sound terrible. What do you want?" "I need help. I'm in serious trouble. I saw the news. Embezzlement. Fraud. And now what? Drugs?" Lex's throat tightened. Even his brother could hear it in his voice. "It wasn't me. Sean set me up. You have to believe me." "Do I? Because last time we talked, you were too busy being Mr. Big Shot to come to Mom's funeral." The words hit like a physical blow. He'd missed his own mother's funeral because of a business trip to Tokyo. "Mike, please. I just need a loan." "How much?" 20 million. His brother laughed, but there was no humor in it. 20 million? "Lex, I'm a high school teacher. I make 40 grand a year, and even if I had it, I wouldn't give it to you. Not like this." "What do you mean? You're high right now, aren't you?" Lex's silence was answer enough. "Get help, Lex. Real help. But don't call me again until you're clean." The dial tone buzzed in his ear. The wind cut through Lex's thin jacket as he stood at the edge of the 20-story building. Below him, the city sparkled like scattered diamonds. It was beautiful. He hated that it was beautiful. His phone buzzed. A text from the loan sharks. "Time's up. We're coming." Lex deleted the message and turned off his phone for the last time. He'd climbed 15 flights of stairs to get here. Now he stood at the precipice, looking down at the street far below. A few pedestrians walked by, completely unaware of the man contemplating his final moments above them. 28 years old, he whispered to the wind. "That's all I get." He thought about the kid who'd worked nights as a janitor to pay for college. The young man who'd coded his first game in a cramped dorm room. The entrepreneur who'd built an empire from nothing. Where had it all gone wrong? "I trusted the wrong people," he said aloud. "I let my guard down. But even that felt hollow. The truth was messier. He'd been so focused on success that he'd lost sight of everything else. His marriage, his friendships, his family. Maybe Sean had been right about one thing. Maybe he had pushed everyone to the sidelines. But did that justify this? Did his mistakes warrant losing everything? His feet hung over the edge now, toes touching nothing but air. The wind pushed at his back, almost like it was encouraging him. "Just one step," he whispered. "That's all it takes." Lex closed his eyes and took a shuddering breath. This was it. No more pain. No more debt. No more humiliation. But something made him pause. Maybe it was the memory of his mother, who'd worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. She never gave up, even when things got impossible. Maybe it was the thought of all the gamers who'd loved his creations. Or maybe he was just scared. "I don't want to die," he whispered. He opened his eyes and looked up at the stars. "If you're up there, God, universe, whatever, I need a sign. Anything. I need a reason to step back from this ledge." His voice cracked with desperation. "I know I screwed up. I know I made mistakes, but I can do better. I can be better. Just give me a chance. Give me something to hold on to." The city noise faded below him. Even the wind seemed to quiet. "I built something once. I can build again. I can help people. I can make things right with the people I hurt." Tears ran down his cheeks. "Please, I don't want to end it like this. Show me there's still something left, something worth fighting for." The stars seemed to shimmer, but that might have been the tears. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you needed me. I'm sorry for all the people I let down." His voice barely carried over the wind. "If there's any chance at all that I can make this right, just show me. Please." The silence stretched on. Nothing but the sound of traffic far below and his own ragged breathing. "I guess that's my answer," he whispered. He prepared to take his final step. The moment Lex lifted his foot, the world changed. The stars above shifted. One point of light broke away from the rest. What the hell? Lex stumbled backward from the edge, shielding his eyes. The light was beautiful and terrifying. Time seemed to slow. The wind stopped. Even the city sounds faded to nothing. The light struck the rooftop with a sound like thunder, but instead of destroying anything, it simply waited. A voice spoke, not human, not quite machine, something in between. "Wait," it said, the word echoing in his skull. Lex's heart hammered against his ribs. "What? Who are you?" "You called for a sign," the voice continued, cold and precise. "Your request has been processed." Processed? Lex backed away from the light, but it followed him. "This isn't real. I'm having a breakdown. You are Alexander Reynolds, former CEO of Pixel Dynasty Games. Current debt, $20,400,732. The specific number made him freeze. Nobody knew the exact amount except him. "How do you—" "You have been selected," the voice interrupted, "to be the next Innkeeper." "Innkeeper of what?" Lex's voice cracked. "The interdimensional rest stop, a place where travelers from across the multiverse can find shelter." Lex laughed, but it sounded hysterical even to him. "You're insane. This is insane. Your previous experience running a business makes you a suitable candidate. Your current situation makes you desperate enough to accept." The brutal honesty hit him like a slap. "Accept what exactly?" "A chance to rebuild." The voice paused. "To pay off your debts and exact revenge on those who wronged you." That last part made Lex's blood run cold. Revenge? The interdimensional rest stop serves beings of immense power. Beings who can reshape reality itself. Your services to them will be rewarded. Lex stared at the impossible figure of light standing before him on a rooftop in downtown LA. 5 minutes ago, he'd been ready to die. Now he was talking to something that claimed it could give him everything he'd lost. "This is crazy," he whispered. "Crazier than jumping off a building?" The question hung in the air like smoke. "What's the catch?" "There is always a catch," the voice said, almost amused. "But first, you must choose. Accept your new role, or take that final step and end this conversation permanently." Lex's legs shook. His whole body was trembling now. Lex looked up at the stars one more time. "Yes, fine, I accept, just don't—" Designation accepted. Innkeeper, the Midnight Inn. Suddenly, Lex's footing gave way beneath him and he plunged into the abyss, only to wake up in his rundown motel. The same roof, the same lamp on the bedside table, the same dull shades on the windows. Yet something seemed different. Something seemed off. "Am I dead?" he whispered to himself, reeling from what had just happened. Not quite. A voice chirped from right beside him. He froze. The voice seemed familiar, in the worst possible way. "Is that?" Lex said as he slowly turned his head to look beside him. That's when he saw her. What's going? Who is the woman waiting beside him? How will Lex survive as the new innkeeper of a multiverse inn? What price will Lex have to pay for accepting the innkeeper's deal? Find out by downloading the Pocket FM app and listening to The Innkeeper and other shows like it completely free.